بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن نبينا محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل على نبينا محمد وآله وصحبه ومن صار على نهجه وتمسك بسنته إلى يوم الدين. ثم أما بعد, dear beloved brothers and sisters, we are talking today about fasting. This pillar, beautiful pillar of Islam, one of the 5 beautiful pillars of Islam. Some people may ask why we are fasting. Why shall we face this hardship and difficulty? Why we are fasting? Let me firstly talking about the question starting with the word why. It's not rational to ask why when it comes to the action of worship, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the commandments to test whether we are righteous and to show Him the submission. It is all about obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the real meaning of being a servant of Allah, to worship Him, to obey Him, and to show Him the submission, whether you know the wisdom or not. So why we are fasting? To obey Allah, to show Him the submission. Why we are praying? The same answering applicable. Why we are performing Hajj? The same answering. Why we are doing a lot of good deeds? To please Him and to obey Him, the Almighty, the Most High, subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, some scholar has given us some guidelines about the wisdom behind fasting. Why we are fasting? As I said in the beginning, is to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who commanded us to fast when He says subhanahu wa ta'ala, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. O you who believe, we have prescribed a sawm, a fasting upon you, as we have prescribed a sawm upon people before you, that you may attain taqwa, that you may attain taqwa. This verse in Surah Al-Baqarah. Secondly, we are fasting to share the needy. This is one of the most beautiful wisdom of fasting, to share the needy, the poor people, those who are living in starvation and famine, those who are suffering, being hungry. So we are trying to share them. This will cause something like giving thanking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the blessings that He has bestowed upon us. We will recognize and realize the significance of food when we are deprived from it. So sharing needy and feeling the blessing of Allah, observing the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is one of the wisdom of fasting. Also emulating the angels. Angels do not fast, do not drink, do not eat, and do not have sexual intercourse. When we fast, we are emulating the angels, those who are close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, some scholar said when you fast as a human being, you are in a rank, in a level over top the angels. Why? Because the angels have no choice. But you have chosen to fast. You have chosen to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to submit to Him. This will make you overtop the angels, not only in the level of the angels. And that's why in some narration, Al-Imam Ibn Kathir, may Allah have mercy upon him, has told us in some narration the angels, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created paradise, created Jannah, they asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by saying, "Oh Allah, you have made the dunya, the life, this life world for human beings to enjoy living in the dunya. So make the paradise, the Jannah, for us. We are those for under your command, and we are obeying you all the time. So why we deserve this Jannah?" Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded to this by saying in that particular narration, "I will not make you as those who have chosen me. You have been created to obey me. You don't have any choice. But those human beings have chosen me. So that's why I will reward them by entering paradise." So why we are fasting? We are fasting also to straighten ourselves. It is to attain taqwa. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "We have prescribed fasting upon you as we have prescribed fasting upon people before you, that you may attain taqwa." What taqwa mean? The scholar said, to make a barrier, a obstacle between you and Allah's punishment. To make an obstacle between you and the hellfire. So this is a taqwa, to attain taqwa. In some other definition of taqwa is to straighten yourself. How it works? During Ramadan, we abstain from halal things. Food is halal. Drinking water is halal. Having relationship, sexual intercourse with the wife is also halal. So you abstain from halal things to please Allah. So this is an annual training for all of us. Why? Because if you could abstain from halal during Ramadan, so you are more likely to abstain from the forbidden haram things after Ramadan. When you got this training to stay away from halal things to please Allah, this will make you will enable you to abstain from haram things easier. So the worshiping Allah will become easier and easier. We are fasting also because this particular ibadah, specific ibadah, has never been done to anyone other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So no one has worshipped any other idols or whatever by fasting. It's only the ibadah that has been prescribed for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, devoted to be done for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Hadith Qudsi, which is a very sound hadith, He said, وَالصَّوْمُ لِي وَأَنَا أَجْزِي بِهِ. الصَّوْمُ لِي وَأَنَا أَجْزِي بِهِ. The sawm, the fasting, is for me, so I will reward for it. I will be the one who will reward my servant for it. Also, some scholars said fasting will enable the servant to be more patient, will teach us to be patient. That's why it said that fasting is a half of patience. And even the scholar said all types of patience are found in fasting. The three types of patience is the patience to do good deeds, the patience to stay away from which is haram and forbidden, and the patience to accept what Allah has decreed amongst calamity and disaster and whatever afflicted you. So those three types of patience, all of them are found in fasting. We are patient when we obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by fasting. We are patient, the second type, when we are suffering from hunger, for example, for the sake of Allah. We are patient when you feel that you have become weak because of fasting and tired because of fasting. This is a patience. So this is all about patience. While we are fasting, fasting has a spiritual impact and social impact. Fasting can spread justice amongst people. How can we say that fasting spreads justice amongst people? Let me share with you an example to explain and to clarify this point. What if the actions of worship is all about to pay something, to pay money? What if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to pray and has given us the choice not to pray by paying something? For example, pay £10 for one prayer. So either you pray or you pay £10. In this case, it will be unfair upon people who are needy and poor, because they have no choice. They have to pray, they have to fast. And the rich one will say, okay, I will pay in advance for 5 years. I'm not praying for 5 years. I'm not fasting for 5 years. If it is all about to pay something, so the rich will say that, I'm not praying, I'm not fasting, I will just compensate this with expiation of paying money. And this will be unfair. That's why when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribed fasting, He has prescribed it upon all types of servants. Whether you are needy, whether you are rich, you have to fast unless you have a valid excuse like traveling, like being sick person. This is a valid excuse. But if you are sound, able to fast, whether you are rich, whether you are poor, you have to fast and you have to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why we said that fasting spreads justice amongst the believer. Why we are fasting? To obey Allah. Why we are fasting? To straighten ourselves. Why we are fasting? To share the needy and the poor people. Why we are fasting? To emulate the angels. Why we are fasting? To spread justice. Why we are fasting? Because this action of worship has never been done to anyone other than Allah, the Almighty, subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Most High, to accept our fasting and to make it easy for us and to grant us al-Jannah, insha'Allah ta'ala, on the day of judgment. So, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.